they got Alex Collins. I forgot the other kid that was a rookie this year. He had hurt his knee, so he should be back. And then they got Campanero, who actually got hurt. I think he had an ACL, so you got to think he'll be back sometime during the season. So I just think they got enough guys, and I think Alex Collins is actually going to be the lead back that they're going to, ride with during the season. So, or during the season, going into training camp. So, but the Ravens was a team that I had out there. Busa. Also in the Wait a Minute Show chat room throughout Miami. Miami is a team that I thought, about there as well. Now, Mocha Bella, I don't know how Mocha Bella would like that. Miami's their team. But here's the thing. The reason I said those two teams, Miami wouldn't be a place that the Doug Martin would end up at. And the reason is that they got Williams and then Kenyon Drake basically stepped out after Jay Ajayi left. So you got to think that they're probably going to roll with that. That is some young talent. I don't think either one of those boys is over 25. So they got two running backs. I don't think they want to add a third because they had an older running back at that point, and that was Arian Foster. And he retired, but obviously you saw, Arian Foster just didn't have it anymore. And when you're older and you struggle a little bit, which Doug Martin has struggled at times, they tend to go away from you pretty quick. So it's just like, why even go down that road? Let's just go ahead and stick with, the young guys that we got. Mocha Bella threw out the Buffalo Bills out there. And that's my man Rough Buff, who's in the chat room as well. He is a Buffalo Bill fan extraordinaire. Mocha, possibly the Buffalo Bills. They did, Gillisley, he's gone. You got to think Shady, Shady, I think is older than Doug, but then it's just like, do you want to have two older guys, in your camp? But could be someone that they invite to camp. I wouldn't be surprised if that happened, especially Sean McDermott. He was in North Carolina, or he was with the Carolina Panthers, so he got a good, opportunity to see Doug Martin up front. So sometimes that helps out. It's just like, what, I've seen this guy, maybe we can do something, for him. So those are a few, teams, that I think, either they would or not, that some of our listeners are throwing out there. Mocha Bella said the Jaguars. There's no way he's going to the Jaguars. They do not want him in there. Leonard Fournette, as long as he's healthy, that boy going to get the ball 90 million times, and then it's only little morsels left over, and you still got TJ Yeldon on his rookie deal, and Chris Ivory probably will take a pay cut. I don't think he doesn't have the value that he once had, so he may want to just stay there because it's just like, look, we was in the AFC Championship game. I don't know if I just want to move on to another team, at this point. And Rough Buff is saying Doug Martin not good enough to make the Bills team. Hold on, Rough. Hold on. Just stop right there. Let's stop. Just because your team backed into the playoffs, yeah, I said it, backed into the playoffs. Don't start acting like, you're on the cusp of being some dynasty or some destination point, Rough. Look, let's stop right there. Let's not get crazy, at this point. Matt Farrell said the Green Bay Packers. I did think about the Green Bay Packers as well, Mac, but here's the thing. They do a lot of homegrown raising in their offense or their franchise, so that's the only reason why I don't think he would go there. They normally like to draft, develop their players, and reward their players. So, and Doug Martin's probably going to be looking to get, a little bit of, not a pay increase. He's going to take a pay cut, but a little bit, of some money in his pocket. So the other teams that I had on here real quick, I had Seattle. And the reason that's Pete Carroll, he goes through all these guys. Unfortunately, Thomas Rawls had a bad season. That's from Flint Town. Eddie Lacy, he probably would not be there. That didn't work out. They do have, oh man, why am I drawing a blank right now? They have a running back, but Chris Carson. Chris Carson may be a guy that they, will probably follow behind. But, again, Pete Carroll likes to give guys opportunities, so he could, go to Seattle. I mean, he gave Eddie Lacy, an an opportunity, and we know Eddie Lacy had issues with his weight. So he gives guys chances. Other team I had with the Panthers, and I was just talking about Sean McDermott. Now, the Panthers are in their division, are the Bucs division, so they see this guy all the time. But we obviously know he doesn't have a space for Atlanta. They got 2 running backs there. Definitely not in New Orleans. They got 2 running backs there. And the Buccaneers, of course, was in that division, so they're definitely not going to bring them back. So I'm just saying sometimes that happens. You get the Panthers, you pair them up with Christian McCaffrey, Jonathan Stewart. He is 31, or he'll be 31 next month. So you got to think, and he's been having these injuries. Now, Doug hasn't stayed healthy, hasn't been the best person with the bill of health, but, it's just like, it's probably time that Jonathan Stewart, they're going to move on from. So they may throw him out there. But the last place I think they may give him opportunities with the Colts, with the Indianapolis Colts. The Colts, for me, the reason I say this is that they could get younger with a 29-year-old running back. And and I know you're like, wait a minute, 29? Yes, because Frank Gore is 34. And for a 34-year-old, he still had a really good season. But you could go back in time, 5 years, get yourself Doug Martin, pair him with Marlon Mack. You got Frank Wright, who is the new coach. And if Andrew Luck is somewhere, in the realms of being what he formerly was, then you just got to focus on your line, because you're going to get Doug Martin for cheap. If he goes there, he's going to be like, I get to play with Andrew Luck. Just pay me whatever it is that you're going to pay me. Now, of course, he's not really going to say that, but he's just going to be like, I'll be willing to, roll with this team. And then they can focus on the offensive line, because that's what they're going to need. But I just think with Doug Martin and Marlon Mack, that kind of reminds me of, who was it? It was Ahmad Bradshaw, and it was another guy. And I don't know why I want to say Joseph Adai, but because I know it wasn't Joseph Adai, but it was a 2-back system that they had when Ahmad Bradshaw was there with the Colts, and that worked, pretty good. Just Ahmad Bradshaw just got hurt. I think he broke his leg or something like that. So it's a few other teams out there. So and then Wait a Minute Show listeners, they're throwing them out here. Mac Farrell throughout Detroit. Nah, I don't think that's going to happen. Matt Patricia is not trying to start off, he's not trying to start off with an old running back. And I hate to say that, but he's not trying to start off his regime with an old running back. He's going to get somebody in the draft, and the Lions need to get someone that there are no question marks except for they're young. That's it. They can't play around with that, But those could be some places, that he could go. And I like some of the suggestions that the listeners had as well. But we'll find out as the season goes. That's a long way down the road, because we got the combine, and then, we got the draft and everything. So I don't think Doug Martin is going to be one of those first week, 2-week guys that, they pick up. Everybody going to start making their moves, and then I think they'll fit him in. So before we move on to the next topic, definitely want to send some love to the listeners that's in here. And I always try and shout y'all out as much as possible, either during the show or at the end of the show. So DJ Knox is in the building here, X-Squad affiliate. Cedric Galloway, man. Let me ask Cedric Galloway a question. And said, please, in the chat room, please, type in your answer. I'm just wondering, do you have this show on automatic reply or something, or automatic answer? Because every time I launch this show to go live, I take my finger off the button, and Sed is in there saying, yo, what up, Jelani? And I'm like, dang, good brother, he in there quick. And I appreciate that, man, because Sed is in there, man, and he like, I'm ready to go, man. Let's get this sports thing going. Let's talk, let's chat and everything. So I love it. So, but Sed got a quick trigger finger. So just remember, if anybody out there, of course not in the chat room because it's all love here, but if anybody that's new to the chat room, you ever meet Cedric Galloway and you have a problem, you better watch it. He got a quick trigger finger. Remember what Jay-Z said? Respect the shooter? Yeah. Quick trigger finger. Something's going on with said finger, because he just gets in there. And I don't know how he does it. But again, Ted Galloway is in the building as well. I already shouted out Mac Farrell, Clay Davis, Mocha Bella, Tiffany Sports and Heels. Angry Black Man is in here. He gonna probably get on my nerves, but it don't even matter. I appreciate you, Angry Black Man, for being in here. I told you Boots was in here. And ladies and gentlemen, Clutch Talk Sports. Kevin Gray is in the building as well. For those who don't know, I am trying to, get on a tier of Kevin Gray's level. Again, I felt like Kobe when he met Penny Hardaway. I met Kevin Gray over the weekend and he did not sign my autograph. So I feel a certain type of way, on this. So he told me, get your game up, big fella. I was like, okay, I'll take that. So I just got to work. And I know, but one day I will be on that level. But I'm just joking. But Clutch Talk Sports, ladies and gentlemen, check it out as well. My man Kevin Gray is in here. Appreciate you for dropping in. So let's move on. And we'll stay a little bit more in football real quick. Mocha Bella, we're going to talk about your Dolphins. So Jarvis Landry got franchise tagged for the Miami Dolphins. And it just begs the question, why? Why? Because we all know when you franchise tag someone, it's only for 1 year, but you get paid for that 1 year. So it looks like he's going to be, paid in the upper parts of $16 million for this 1 year. Now, Jarvis was trying to get a contract where he was wanting to get paid about 14 and a half, every year. And the Dolphins just like, no, we're not trying to hear that. And we ain't trying to play no slot receiver, that type of money. But the dude led the league in catches. Now, he did not have 12, 13, 1,400 yards. He almost had 1,000 yards, but and 9 touchdowns this season. But you got to think like, what could possibly be a fair number for Jarvis Landry, but I think it's what he means to the offense, though, because I get what people are saying. He's a slot receiver. He's not that X. He's not that Y. He's not a Julio. He's not a Hop. He's not, AB. He's not, those type of guys. But he's in that next tier, below. But what is he to his team? Because if you think about it, what were we just talking about? And if Grego was in here, he probably would agree with me. But what were we just talking about with Julian Edelman? Just like he was that main cog. Obviously they still got to the Super Bowl, without him. But obviously, it was every time Brady needed somebody, he would look, to Julian Edelman's way. And before Julian Edelman, it was Wes Welker. And they all played the slot, position. So it may be what he means to that team. But to sign him, for 1 year, I just think the inevitable is that Jarvis wants to get paid. Miami don't want to pay him. I think they're trying to hold on 1 more year. And then they're not going to franchise tag him again. And then they're going to send him on his way, or he's going to go on his way, and they're not going to, tag him again. So maybe, at this point, maybe it's a trade piece. Maybe they're going to trade him to another team and he get an extension or something like that. Maybe that they don't trust their receiving core right now. I mean, you got Kenny Stills there and I forgot the other kid name out of Louisville, but and Mocha Bella, you should be able to help me out with that. But Mocha Bella also is saying that they should have let Landry go, start all over again, and Dolphins management a mess. So, I've been a part of franchises where the management has been a mess, Mocha. So I know, my 0-16 Lions and Matt Millen. Matt Millen, I still don't think Matt Millen's been back to Detroit because it's a no-fly zone. Tricking them, probably done already said he can't come back. So I definitely know what you're talking about. But it was weird, it was just kind of like, I get you tagging them, but they can remove the tag, though. Don't forget that. It's not like it's locked in stone until you sign it. So he hasn't signed it yet. They just tagged him and they could remove it, a la how they did Josh Norman. And then he went to Washington. They removed the tag off of him. So what we're going to do, we're going to take a little break. And then we'll come back and we'll finish up our last little piece, of football. Actually, we're going to get into a little combine, college football, And then I told you there was a former NFL player that was asking, a pretty